From the WCTV studios, news with April Douglas, pinpoint weather with meteorologist Ray Hawthorne, and sports with Melissa Makos. This is the award-winning Eyewitness News at 6.
Good evening, everyone. The Florida Keys were spared a direct hit from Hurricane Dennis, but the effects of the storm's strong winds and heavy rains caused flooding and power outages. More than 200,000 homes and businesses were without power in the southern tip of Florida, including portions of Miami, Fort Lauderdale, the Upper Keys, and the entire city of Key West. The Category 2 hurricane passed west of the island chain, but has still produced heavy sheets of rain and wind gusts that downed trees, street signs, and store awnings. Florida remains under a state of emergency as Dennis, the fourth storm and first hurricane of the Atlantic season, churns in the Gulf of Mexico. Ray's joining us now live with an update. I know a lot of folks, their eyes are on this storm. What can you tell us?
Absolutely. Well, the good news in all this here, it looks like the storm is going to make landfall a far enough distance to our west where we won't see the absolute worst from this hurricane, and that's certainly some good news. But we have some spiral bands of rain coming in. Here's a look at the area's only live Doppler radar. A tremendous band of showers and thunderstorms now about ready to make landfall here right over Taylor County, moving to the west over Wakulla County and Franklin County. Again, some gusty winds as well. Also, let's take a look here at the other source here. We look at the area's only the other radar here very quickly, and we can see what's going on. Again, some very intense lightning with this. Be on the lookout, folks. This is going to be very close to the Wakulla County border here very shortly, and then moving up toward the Tallahassee area within about the next half hour or so with some gusty winds, heavy rainfall, and also some dangerous lightning as well. Quickly, a look at the current particulars. Winds 105 miles per hour, but there are signs that Dennis is now rapidly intensifying. We'll have more about this as we head on through the broadcast tonight. April.
Definitely want to stay tuned. Thank you so much, Ray.
You bet.
You've been busy. Governor Jeb Bush acknowledges the inevitability of hurricanes continuing to hit the state, but he says emergency planners have learned a lot since last summer's quartet of deadly storms. With Dennis now taking aim at the Panhandle, Mike Vasalinda says the roads of North Florida, they are busy.
A steady stream of cars has been heading east on I-10 all day long. Rest areas are busy.
Well, I'm leaving for Esther, close to Fort Walton, and I'm going to Ocala.
Why? Why there?
I went there last time from Ivan.
People we talked to were heading to diverse places: Tifton, Georgia, Lakeland, St. Petersburg. For most of these folks, the scene is just all too familiar. So what made you decide to leave?
The tornadoes from Ivan, mainly. It was just last year when they were that close to us, all around us, and so unpredictable, I thought, no way, not this time.
The first showers hit the Panhandle just after 1 p.m., then a calm as trucks of ice, generators, and food staged for a trip to Pensacola. James Turner is a trucker from North Carolina.
What are you carrying then?
Meals ready to eat, MREs.
How many you got?
Ooh, that's a good question. About 39,000 pounds worth.
At the State Emergency Operations Center, there is a sense of inevitability.
Well, here we go again.
But Jeb Bush says the staff is not fatigued and has learned lessons from last year.
People that in Northwest Florida, particularly where the storm likely will hit, should know that their fellow Floridians are going to be by their side to help in the relief effort.
500 National Guardsmen will be overnighting in Tallahassee, then will move into the storm area after the weather clears. Mike Vasalinda, WCTV Eyewitness News, Tallahassee.
As Hurricane Dennis makes its way up the Gulf of Mexico, folks around Florida's Big Bend area, they are getting prepared. Lisa Park joins us now live from the State Emergency Operations Center in Tallahassee with more. Lisa, what is the latest from the EOC?
April, right now the EOC wants to make sure that people are prepared for whatever may hit Florida's Panhandle. While coastal residents are taking precautions to protect their home, people who live further inland are stocking up on food supplies, batteries, and other essentials needed when a bad storm blows through. Generators are a particularly hot ticket item for hurricane preparation these days, as it appears lots of folks anticipate their electricity may go out.
Generator came out to the Lowe's and they had already sold out. They had them and they went just like that. We were able to go to a competitor and we found one, but you know, you got what they had because you didn't have much of a selection.
Employees at the Lowe's on Capitol Circle say it was pretty busy this morning, but slowed some later in the afternoon. At the time that we were out at the stores, there was a pretty steady pace of people going into both the grocery stores as well as the hardware stores.
Excuse me. Now, Liza, was it mostly locals at the stores or just people just preparing for the storms?
Actually, April, we did run into some people who said they had just come in from Pensacola, and as you can expect, we'll probably see a number of people from that area coming over this way to get out of harm's way and find some safe haven from the hurricane.
Definitely. Thank you. Liza Park reporting live. With Hurricane Dennis bearing down on the Florida Panhandle, many residents have been asked to evacuate. But are people listening to these warnings? Kate GAIER headed down to the coast to find out.
Once again, the Florida Panhandle is preparing for another hurricane. Dennis is forcing many counties to evacuate, among them Franklin County. But are residents really heeding the warnings?
I don't feel I need to. I know a lot.
All right, we do apologize for that technical difficulty. Well, meanwhile, we're going to move ahead to our next story. Meanwhile, in Leon County, officials are gearing up, ready to support evacuees from neighboring counties. The American Red Cross has opened 4 hurricane shelters today for those evacuating their homes. We're going to go ahead and run those down. They are Giles High School on Thomasville Road in Leon County, East Gadsden High School in Midway, Crawfordville Elementary School in downtown Crawfordville, and Toller Elementary School in Bristol. And as of 6 p.m., the following shelters opened in Calhoun County. They are Carr Middle School, Bluntstown High School, the new library in Bluntstown, Alpha Church of God, and the Calhoun County Senior Citizen Center. That's for persons with special needs. Jackson County, it's opened Mariana High School for evacuees seeking shelter. Now, for more information on shelters, you can call 850-894-6741 or star ARC from your mobile phone. 10 people were killed as Hurricane Dennis pummeled Cuba on its way to Florida. Ray, you're back here now, and I understand, well, you do have a very special guest that's going to join us to talk more about Hurricane Dennis and what maybe we can expect for our area.
Absolutely. We do have Max Mayfield. He is the director of the National Hurricane Center in Miami. Max, thanks very much for joining us this evening. What can you tell us about, first, the storm right now? It looks like it's going to stay a pretty good distance to our west. What kind of impacts are we expecting, especially along the coastal counties first?
Well, there'll be very significant impacts right along the coastline where it does finally, make landfall. And on the track we have now, it's really heading in the same general direction as where Ivan hit. But this is a larger circulation. You're going to have impacts out here, even all the way up here into, the St. George Island area near Pensacola. If it stays in our forecast track, the tropical storm force winds, the sustained storm force winds will likely stay a little bit west of Tallahassee, but still very close to you. I'm sure you'll get some of these additional good rain bands as the hurricane gets up closer in the North Gulf Coast.
What can you tell us about some other threats from the system? Again, we're to the east of the circulation. A big problem with Ivan not too long ago, last year, of course, being the tornado threat. What kind of a threat are we going to be dealing with around here with potential tornadoes?
Yeah, you'll definitely have the same threat with Dennis that you did with Ivan on the tornadoes. I think that's going to be mostly during the day tomorrow. And as these rain bands continue to spread inland, but we're going to have the whole 9 yards with this hurricane, the storm surge, the wind, the rain, and the tornadoes.
All right, Max, thanks very much for joining us tonight. We know you're very busy, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Definitely some scary stuff, Ray, the tornadoes. I think that's what most people are going to be concerned about. Thank you so much. We'll check up with you later in the show. Traffic along I-10 heading through Tallahassee remains steady as folks head out of harm's way. Take a look. This is a shot of I-10 near the Monroe Street exit. Weather-worn Florida residents, they're making their trek eastbound out of Dennis's path. The Florida Highway Patrol wants to remind motorists that rain and wind make for dangerous driving conditions. FHP advises all drivers to slow down and take plenty of time to evacuate. As Floridians try to escape the hurricane's path, we are just getting things underway this evening. Stay with us. It is a busy show. Coming up, all you need to know about evacuation routes is just a phone call away. Grab a pen and paper. We'll run down that number for you right after this. For the next 24 hours, DOT will be manning a phone bank for motorists seeking information should Hurricane Dennis strike. Personnel will be available at all hours to answer calls related to detours, road closures, and other transportation needs. Now here's that toll-free number. It is 1-888-638-0250. That is extension 637. Once again, let me run down that number for you. It's 1-888-638-0250, extension 637. Hurricane Dennis is turning closer and closer to the U.S. tonight. Right now, it's in the Gulf of Mexico and expected to make landfall anywhere between Florida and Louisiana tomorrow. CBS correspondent Aline Sergani is in Pensacola, Florida, where people are packing up to leave.
The window boards are coming down in Key West tonight. Hurricane Dennis has come and gone.
Thank God it didn't hit us hard. A few trees down, but not much damage.
The hurricane's eye passed 125 miles west of the island early today, shredding boat masts, snapping trees, and spilling ocean water onto the highway. But so far, not even an injury to speak of. Cuba and Haiti did not fare as well, each country reporting at least 10 deaths. But now Dennis is over open water in the Gulf of Mexico, gaining strength and poised to strike. Last-minute preparations underway for the more than 1 million people from the Florida Panhandle to Louisiana advised to evacuate. Forecasters expect Dennis will make landfall sometime Sunday afternoon.
Getting out? Absolutely. If you live on the beach, you don't stay.
Even though most people have left, for those residents who decide to stay, the warning is you're on your own.
If you are staying behind, don't.
At one point reaching a Category 4 strength, Dennis is the strongest storm to hit so early in the season. Now down to a Category 2, his winds are still topping 100 miles per hour. And he's following the same deadly path as last year's Hurricane Ivan, whose trail of destruction is still everywhere in Florida's Panhandle. Aline Sergani, CBS News, Pensacola, Florida.
With Hurricane Dennis bearing down on the Florida Panhandle, many residents, they have been asked to evacuate. But are people listening to these warnings? Kate GAIER headed down to the coast to find out.
Once again, the Florida Panhandle is preparing for another hurricane. Dennis is forcing many counties to evacuate, among them Franklin County. But are residents really heeding the warnings?
I don't feel I need to. I know a lot of people do, but we've been here I've stayed here for 20 years through every hurricane that's been here. Evacuated once and we ran right into it.
Not all residents in Franklin County are trying to outrun this storm, but many are taking the precautions to protect themselves and their property. Boarded windows are a common scene along the coast. Also a common sight, boaters taking care of any last-minute preparations to protect their boats.
Try to get some of the sails down and stuff like that, and just general tie down, button up, and get ready for the storm. That's what we've been doing since yesterday, in fact.
WCTV meteorologist HAWTHORNE says the storm should sideswipe us, yet Dennis's outer bands can still cause some severe damage. As you can see behind me, the tide is already raising. The waves are getting larger. There's an expected storm surge of 6 to 8 feet. That's just the water level. There can be waves even larger than that. In Franklin County, I'm Kate GAIER, WCTV Eyewitness News.
Many residents in Franklin County understood the severity of the storm but did not evacuate because they didn't feel it was a direct threat to them. There is more to come this evening on the area's top-rated station. Coming up, Ray lets us know what's in store for us during these overnight hours. His pinpoint weather forecast is up next. Welcome back, everyone. I know the talk of the town, everyone, it's Hurricane Dennis. I know a lot of people out today getting their bottled water out. Talk to my family in Mobile. Stores are closed. They had to be ready or it's go time.
You know, the good thing for us, I guess, is we're getting sideswiped. There is going to be tremendous damage done from this hurricane off to our west. Thankfully to our west, but of course that's somebody else's problem, which is certainly not good news either. But for now, a tremendous rain band. This is the second one that's moving through, just starting to move through, rather, across the area right now. Look, the area is only live Doppler radar. You can see it stretching from Taylor County on into southern parts of Jefferson County right now, and also getting into southern Wakulla County. It's going to be in Crawfordville within the next 5 or 6 minutes or so, and then also stretching back into southern parts of Liberty County and Franklin County. Tropical storm force wind gusts quite likely, heavy rain, and also tremendous lightning as this moves on toward the north. Should be entering Leon County Tallahassee, Quincy, Monticello. Give it about another half hour to 45 minutes. This could knock out some power to some of you as this thing moves on through here again over the next half hour, and eventually this is going to be moving into South Georgia, say around 7 o'clock this evening. Let's switch on to the other source here and show you what's going on with the latest particulars from the Hurricane Center. 25.7, 84.6 are the coordinates. The winds are 105 miles per hour, but there are very good indications this thing is now starting to rapidly intensify again. The pressure at the advisory time was 958 millibars. Now it is down to 947 millibars, so a big pressure jump downward over the last couple of hours or so. We expect this to rapidly intensify, Cat 3, maybe even a Category 4. Landfall should occur off to our west. That's where the main impacts are going to be, especially as we head toward tomorrow afternoon. Satellite view, look what happens here in the last couple of hours. The eye becomes extremely well defined as it moves on toward the northwest. Again, we expect this thing to rapidly intensify here over the next couple of hours or so. And again, this could be a Category 3, maybe even a Category 4. Not good news for friends to our west. Again, you can see on the wider scale view right here, look at how the eye quickly becomes visible here on that satellite view. As far as the forecast winds for us as we head on in toward the next, again, couple of days here, there goes the hurricane moving on toward the northwest. This is at tonight. Some of the tropical storm force winds just offshore. Then notice here as we head toward 5 a.m. Sunday, the tropical storm force winds here, again, right along the coastline sections. And then as we head toward 11 a.m. tomorrow morning, again, getting close to Tallahassee, southwest Georgia. Notice here some of the winds in Franklin County getting up over possibly 60 miles per hour at times. And then as we head toward tomorrow evening, that all starts to finally start pushing on toward the northwest. So by tomorrow night, the wind should start to ease. Hurricane warnings still in effect along the coastline sections. Inland tropical storm wind warnings are also in effect for areas, again, on the Florida side, inland from the coast. So tropical storm conditions are expected as well. We'll come back. We'll check out the marine weather forecast and the forecast for the next few days right after the break.
What are you doing? Pull over now.
When physical evidence is not enough, the only way to catch a criminal is to think like one. This team can get inside any suspect's head.
Tell us where Heather Woodland is.
Isn't she the girl that went missing a couple of days ago?
He said, isn't she the girl? If he'd already killed her, he would have said, wasn't she the girl? She's alive.
Criminal Minds, CBS Wednesdays this fall.
Welcome back. Here's a look at the impacts for Hurricane Dennis along the coastline sections as we head towards Sunday. Storm surge of 6 to 8 feet expected. Winds 35 up to 65 miles an hour in spots, especially Franklin County. Hurricane force wind gusts of over 75 miles an hour. Rainfall 3 to 8 inches. And again, hurricane warnings along the coast. Inland sections of the area. A tropical storm wind warning in effect. Winds 20 miles an hour around the Valdosta area, down to about Madison, increasing to around 45 miles an hour from Tallahassee westward with higher gusts. Rainfall 3 to 5 inches. Of course, tornadoes also a threat. So stay tuned as we head on in toward the nighttime hours here. Again, any kind of warnings, we will cut in for those right away. As far as the coastal waters go for tomorrow, obviously not a good day at all to be out there. Hurricane warning in effect, extreme conditions, southeast winds 40 to 55 knots. Seas will be building to 22 to 27 feet. The bays and inlets extremely rough for tomorrow. The water temperature at 85 degrees. Your tides, Apalachicola, Carabel, Steenhatchee, and the St. Marks River entrance. The key here are high tides tomorrow morning, generally between about 5 and 8 in the morning. Then it goes toward a low tide. So I think right around tomorrow morning, early to mid-morning, that's when we're expecting some significant problems around the high tide along the coastline sections. So your forecast as we head on in again through today, and clouding up, already breezy again with the squalls moving on into the picture. Then for tonight, down to 77 degrees for an overnight low temperature. Again, those winds east to southeast at 20 to 45 miles per hour. Again, some of you may see the power go out. So again, 87.7 FM, we will certainly be on the radio as well if you have some battery-powered radios sitting around. 83 degrees for tomorrow. Heavy rain squalls, very windy again. Southeast winds 20 to 45, again up to 65 miles an hour, especially over the coastal part.
April Douglas. Pinpoint weather with meteorologist Ray Hawthorne. And sports with Melissa Makos. This is the award-winning Eyewitness News at 11.
Hurricane Dennis lashes the Florida Keys as Panhandle residents prepare for a possible hit, and evacuations are underway as residents drive to dodge Dennis. Plus, what to do with your pets during severe weather. We'll have those stories and much more coming up after tonight's top story. Good evening, everyone. We appreciate you tuning in to the area's top-rated news station, topping our broadcast. Florida remains under a state of emergency as Dennis, the fourth storm and first hurricane of the Atlantic season, churns in the Gulf of Mexico. Mike McCall joins us live from the Pinpoint Weather Center with the latest. Mike?
Thanks very much, April. And first things first, they do have a tornado warning in effect right now for Madison County, just released just a moment ago. Take a look at live Pinpoint Doppler because we are tracking a strong thunderstorm. Again, there are several out here, but we're talking about the one, again, over northeastern parts of Madison County, very close to the city of Madison. And we're talking about this particular cell right there. That's the one that has a history of producing tornadoes. A confirmed touchdown down near Live Oak within about the last hour. It is moving off toward the northwest rather rapidly. Now, let's go ahead and show you the bigger picture of the showers and thunderstorms that have been moving through. And again, the tornado warning in effect for Madison County right now. If you're in the city of Madison, the northern portions of Madison County, you need to take cover as this already has a history of producing a tornado. Now, there you see the bands of showers and storms that have been coming through, and there's the county in red. That is the tornado warning that is currently in effect for Madison County. The bigger picture, of course, the other big story right now, of course, is Dennis continuing to get stronger, has become a strong Category 3 hurricane with winds sustained now at 125 miles per hour, currently located about 291 miles from Pensacola, still moving northwest at 14. I will talk about the forecast track for Dennis, plus all the possible impacts on our own local area. And of course, we'll check live radar again to check on the progress of that storm, which could be producing a tornado as we speak in Madison County. April?
Thanks, Mike. Things can change so rapidly. Well, the band